And Ernest, I never have known if Ray recorded City Lights because he loved the song, because he wanted to shut up Ernest. Get E.T. off his back.
For most of his life, Bill Anderson never chased noise. He never begged for attention or fought for the spotlight. His voice was rarely the loudest in the room, yet it was the one that stayed with you long after the music stopped. While the industry around him chased trends, charts, and applause, Bill Anderson stayed rooted in something far more fragile: truth. He believed country music was meant to be lived first and sung later. His songs didn't explode with spectacle or flashy hooks. They whispered. They sat beside you in the quiet moments, when life felt unbearably heavy and words failed. To him, country music wasn't meant to entertain you. It was meant to understand you. For decades, fans assumed Bill Anderson would take his secrets to the grave, letting his catalog speak in his place. And for a long time, he did exactly that. But silence, when carried too long, turns into grief. And in his later years, that grief finally demanded a voice. In his 80s, the man known for restraint stunned the industry by naming what he believed no one else would dare to say. He accused 5 powerful stars tied to the Grand Ole Opry not of simple mistakes, but of betrayal. This wasn't bitterness. This wasn't anger. This was heartbreak, quietly carried for generations, finally breaking free. The deepest wound came from Kenny Rogers, the man Bill Anderson once admired above all others. Kenny Rogers was more than a country singer. He was a bridge. By the late 1970s, he had become a trusted figure who carried country music into the mainstream without resistance. He was welcomed on television, embraced by pop audiences, and celebrated across genres. Bill Anderson watched this rise with respect, believing Rogers would protect the soul of country music as he expanded its reach. But something changed. When songs like Lady and Islands in the Stream dominated charts in 1980 and 1983, Bill Anderson felt a line quietly disappear. Those songs were polished, gentle, and universally appealing, but they carried no consequences. They proved country music could succeed without confronting pain, poverty, or moral weight. And once the industry learned that lesson, everything shifted. Record labels stopped asking for truth and started asking for formulas. Heartbreak became vague, hardship became decorative, honesty lost urgency. The second fracture came with Garth Brooks, a name fans never expected to hear connected to disappointment. Privately, Bill Anderson once described Garth Brooks as the most commanding performer country music had ever produced. That praise was genuine, but as Brooks's influence exploded in the early 1990s, admiration turned to unease. Country music moved from quiet rooms into football stadiums. Fireworks, smoke, harnesses, and towering screens became normal. Crowds screamed lyrics they barely absorbed. Volume replaced vulnerability, and Bill Anderson felt something essential slipping away. In one rare radio moment, Bill Anderson said something that revealed fear rather than nostalgia. He explained that country music was never meant to be shouted, it was meant to be felt. Popularity didn't bother him. What troubled him was what popularity demanded in return. As stadium shows became the blueprint, songwriters were encouraged to write bigger, louder, and simpler. Silence lost its value. Intimacy became a liability. Bill Anderson responded quietly by stepping back, choosing acoustic performances and lyric-driven projects. These weren't stubborn choices, they were acts of preservation. Then came Taylor Swift, the most unexpected name on the list. When she first arrived in Nashville, Bill Anderson noticed immediately. She was young, but her songwriting carried emotional clarity far beyond her years. Her early work focused on detail, heartbreak, and narrative, everything Bill Anderson believed country music stood for. For a moment, he believed she represented renewal, proof that the genre still knew how to protect its storytellers. That belief shattered in 2014 when Taylor Swift formally left country music behind. According to those close to Bill Anderson, his response was blunt and deeply personal. He He said country music used to be a lifetime commitment, not a resume. That statement cut through Nashville like a quiet confession. To him, Swift's exit wasn't just a genre shift. It was a public declaration that country music was temporary, something to outgrow. Sacred ground had become a stepping stone, and the consequences were immediate. Younger artists stopped talking about staying. They talked about moving on. Country music was no longer a destination. It became a launch pad. Once permanence disappeared, identity followed.
Jason Aldean represented a different kind of fracture. He never left country music. He never crossed over. And that, to Bill Anderson, was the problem. As bro country rose in the 2000s and 2010s, radio playlists filled with trucks, beer, tailgates, dirt roads, and endless celebration. But the emotional consequences that once defined country music quietly vanished. In private conversations, Bill Anderson expressed concern, saying artists were singing about country life without truly living it. To him, country music had always required proximity to hardship, aging parents, financial pressure, regret that followed you home at night. Songs like Dirt Road Anthem felt familiar on the surface, but empty beneath. The imagery was there, but the substance was missing. What replaced truth were slogans designed to sell a lifestyle rather than confront reality. Bill Anderson believed Jason Aldean symbolized an industry pivot where authenticity became procedural and emotional range was narrowed to what tested well. His response was deliberate. He refused to adjust. He kept writing about aging, faith, regret, and moral weight. These songs weren't nostalgic, they were statements. The final break came with Morgan Wallen, and it carried more tension than any other. Bill Anderson never denied Wallen's talent. He acknowledged his raw voice and instinctive musicality. But to Bill Anderson, talent without responsibility was dangerous. Country music, in his world, demanded character as much as ability. When Wallen's controversies overtook his music in 2021, Bill Anderson reportedly said country music once fought to be respected, but now excused behavior it wouldn't have survived before. In the end, Bill Anderson never asked for applause, and he never demanded agreement. He simply spoke the truth as he saw it, after carrying it quietly for an entire lifetime. Whether he was protecting country music or refusing to let it change is still debated, but one truth remains clear. His heartbreak never came from hate. It came from love, from watching something sacred slowly fade. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments, was Bill Anderson right, or was country music always meant to change? Thanks for watching.